pulling into Ketchican this morning. It is like 5:30 local time, which is like 9:30 Eastern time right now. Pretty early local time. But here's Ketchican right here. You can see we are the first ship in today, Captain said yesterday. So I guess we have made it to Alaska now. This is our first look at Alaska. To this point, we've been in Canada. That's this ship back here. You can see the logo this morning. Everything's still lit up at this point. The captain had also told us last night that it was going to be pretty foggy, and it is in the morning. So he said they'd be using their horn. I haven't heard him use it yet, but maybe at some point he'll use the horn here. You can see some of the people down the bridge. I don't think you can see it that well in the video, but I can see a couple of, you can see like 3 or 4 people just in that part that sticks out there. I'm sure the pilots from Ketchican are on board now. None of these docks look big enough for us, but I assume they know what they're doing. Ship. We were the first ones in. I don't know who this is, but they are not first. But it's kind of cool to see how they come down.
I believe the ship down there, the blue ship, that's the Aleutian Ballad. That's the one they do
the Deadliest Catch
tour
the
on.
Barents Sea tour. We're not doing that, but if you were, it's that one right there. It's got a crab on it. There you go. Oh yeah, that is it. You can see the stadium seating and stuff that they have for everybody while they're doing it. People say it's a great tour.
We chose not to do it.
Especially if you're into Deadliest Catch. You should check it out. There's the other ship down there. Way down there.
It looks closer when I look at it than when I look at it through the camera. Berth 1. Because we are the first ship in port this morning, there are going to be 4 ships in port. This sleepy little town. Very small town. I believe the Lumberjack Show may be down on that end. But I'm not, obviously we are not oriented yet to the town. Oh, there's look at the very steep road. You see it in the middle there going straight up.
So we have almost docked now, but it looks, I think that's a Norwegian ship. It's a Norwegian ship specifically decorated for Alaska, I think. Wow. So they're coming. We are in Ketchican. We've already been up. Seen us pull in this morning. We are walking the wrong way on the walking track. It's always a good thing. So we're gonna go get some coffee and then probably get off the ship and wander around. We're going to see the Lumberjack Show at 12:45 today with the rest of the group. But before that, we don't really have any plans. We're just gonna go and walk around and see what happens. Met our friend Steve and Vicky. Steve's a pastor and Vicky's his wife. Steve was up this morning, so we hung out with him while we pulled into Ketchican this morning. You might have heard his voice in some of that footage. And that's that. Mom is getting some coffee before we head ashore. We got the coffee card, so you get like 15 coffees for a certain price. And it's cheaper than buying specialty coffees, and it's cheaper than buying them like individually. And then you get unlimited free coffee and tea that's a little bit higher end than what they just serve in the dining room or the buffet. So it's a good deal. This is the bar we were at last night where Mom got the drink. from the guy who made it on the TV. It's Good Spirits. It's something they're putting on all the Princess Medallion Net places, Medallion Net ships. Fishing boats out there this morning. Here's another princess ship that's coming into port. I'm not sure. Looks like it might be the Grand Princess. Yep. This is that ship's a good bit smaller than our ship is, but it is another princess ship. So we just got off this morning. There's that gangway. First real look at the Royal from the outside here. We've just been on her so far, so we haven't seen her from this angle. It's Mom going down the gangway. All the tours. There's lots of like, if you didn't book something and you wanted to, you could book it now. There's the duck tour, which about 10 or so people from our group are doing the duck tour today. So that's, I believe, what they will be getting on. Loading up there to see the town. Some quality touristy stuff in here. Tourist fare. Very nice. Here's a better look at that Bering Sea fisherman tour that we got to see that a little bit this morning when we were coming in, but it's a little bit of a different view of it.
That boat actually was on the Deadliest Catch at one time, and they retired her to making lots of money.
Yeah, people really enjoy it. They say it's a great way to see.
I think if I can get Dad to come with me again, that's what we would talk him into doing that.
Dad, do you hear that? Mom's gonna talk you into doing that. So I think I heard that, like, if they're local, they have a sign of like a bear or something, like there's something that indicates whether they're local or native, as these have become. As these have become. Yeah, thank you. As they've become bigger tourist destinations with the cruise ships, a lot of the Caribbean companies have now set up shop down here, and so they're not really like the local feel. So they have created some distinction between them. I can't remember exactly what it is. Maybe we'll figure it out and tell you later.
One of the things in Alaska, Sarah, show her the flower. The flowers here are amazing because they get so much sunlight and so much rain. All these cool weather flowers just do amazing here.
Here's the visitor center down here. So you can go in here and there's a free walking tour map. So if you don't want to do a tour, but you still want to get some information about the area, you can come and check out the map down here. Here's the visitor center, Mom.
I know.
Mom said that the gentleman at the dock visitor center said that this is the Old Town area, and
If we're not to the historic area yet, we are at the Old Town and we're going to the historic.
so they have the Old Town and then the historic areas, supposedly. They're doing a good bit of construction. I had read that online. So we're walking through the sign.
We're walking up to Creek Street to see the historic section.
The tour center has something that tells you the local artist. The tourist guy said that, like, the thing about the bear in the window, that even places that aren't local will do that sometimes. And
This is the second replication
of the Chief
Cayenne totem pole.
Can't really see all of its colors.
They let them age, and that's part, I read somewhere that's part of the great process of.
Well, here's the duck tour. I don't know if that's the one that all of our group is on, but hey, duck tour. Hi, Doctor. I don't see the bandies on that. And the pretty flowers.
I believe Ketchican is famous for its totem pole.
But a lot of these are replicas, right?
Well, they were here and after they're wood, so eventually they need to be replaced. So they're replicas of originals, but they're still original wood totem poles. Past the Episcopal Church down there.
That white building down there.
The Whale Park and Chief Cayenne totem.
Yep.
This is the Chief Johnson totem pole, raised in 1901, and Israel Stockridge recarved it, the replica, in 1989.
How about that? So over here is Creek Street. We went to a presentation yesterday and they said that the reason this was built is because the ladies of the town got kicked out, weren't allowed to be in the town limits, so the guys built the Creek Street over here, which is across the river outside the city limits, so that they could still have their ladies around. So now we're going over into Creek Street, which is aptly named because there's the creek, and then you cross over. Oh, here's the stream. Over here.
There's a chance we can see salmon.
See any salmon? I don't see any salmon. Here, let's walk down over there where there's people standing. Salmon. Some type of fish sculpture.
Wanted us to go the other way.
We are now back on track with the walking tour. After the detour. There's another totem pole. I'm sure that the totem poles like tell stories, right?
Yes.
I feel like there's some like local people walking around here, not tourists. They like look like they're going somewhere, not just wandering. From the wild to the can. The fish ladder minus the fish. I guess at some points there are salmon that you can see that will actually be running up the stream, but not today. Okay, we just checked out the fish ladder, which is what we were just looking at there. So they do have these signs all around that give you kind of some information about where you're at.
That water will be icy cold.
This is kind of a normal thing to do if you live in Alaska. The guy yesterday made a joke that there's 7 men to every 1 woman. And so his joke was that the odds are good, but the goods are odd.
When the married men wanted to go to the brothels, they walked this way, which is back through the woods, so nobody would know that they were going to see the brothel.
Which we're about to get back to where we were the Creek Street was, so this is the Married Man's Trail. It's a real good part of the history of Alaska there for you. There's that salmon sculpture we were seeing from before. Just
Look,
from
there's a salmon. I technically that's a flag.
Well, a fish sculpture, whatever kind of fish it is. So we were just over there where those people are standing a second ago, and we just basically just walked around on the Married Man's Trail, right? One of the signs. We already went to the fish ladder, and we've done the Mary Trail, and we've done part of Creek Street. I guess this way is the Cape Box Hill tram. Maybe we'll check out the tram, Mom.
I believe we'll check out the tram. Sounds like fun.
I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Wait, this is just, you just get on? There's no instructions to this?
Like an elevator. We have no idea. We're just
A free
We thought you guys were in charge. I don't think it's free. Whoa, jeez.
We gotta put it in neutral and push it up.
Yeah. All right, everybody pedal really hard.
Look, there's a cargo ship for Joe.
Stick with us, right?
We have no idea. We just got on. This seems real safe.
And okay, so you're good. Yeah. Are you? Oh Jesus! We're on that humongous, embarrassing, humongous joy. The Norwegian ship.
Oh, is it? I think they charge us to get down.
Okay, well that.
You just roll down.
Where's Mom with the bear?
I am not touching.
We just got on this random tram. We have no idea where it took us, but there's some totem poles up here. Didn't cost us anything to get up here. We're not really sure if it costs us anything to get down. Tourism at its best. So I guess there's this lodge up here that people come up to. Could stay over here on top of the mountain. I bet there's some pretty cool views. Ted Ferry Civic Center. Civic Center up here. How about that?
We could walk down.
Oh, we could walk down. Married Man Trail. So we're at Dolly's house. These are pictures of her.
First of the gentler sex to arrive in Alaska during the economic boom of the gold. At age 26, she moved to Ketchican and soon paid cash for number 24 Creek Street. This house became her home for the rest of her life. Dolly's house today is much the same as it was back in 1919 when she moved in. Made her house look like a normal Dolly. Notice the clever men's room. You were all welcome to take a look inside. It was booze that made money for the girls more than the $3 trips they turned. Dolly's arrival was timely. It was the time of big money on.
The men's room for you. How nice. Here's this is a urinal, an old school urinal. How lovely. Not used since 1953.
Creek Street in Dolly's house. Please be very careful going down the back stairs that used to lead to the married man's strip.
Here's the closet. Finding the guest book there. Guess this was Dolly's bathroom in here. This is the exit of Dolly's house. Goes out to the back to the Married Man's Trail, which I guess this is the way people would come in. The men would come in, or at least the married men would come in. So, Dolly's house, where both men and salmon came upstream to spawn. That's where Mom got her whale tail necklace. She got it from a gentleman in there. So you can show your whale tail necklace.
It is
Australian black
opal
with Alaskan gold plated. Here's the other side of Creek Street. So someone told us that right now the reason you can't see any salmon is because it is low tide and the salmon only come at high tide.
I was born in Cordova, and my grandfather right here, there's blurry pictures, but I just pulled him out of an album. So John, they were facing the Depression in Aberdeen, Washington. Okay, he was a mill worker and a finished carpenter, and so he had 3 grown sons, 2 daughters in high school, so he wasn't ready to give up. So he built a boat with the help of a shipwright and headed north to Alaska. And he headed north to Cordova, and there was always this talk about this this famous river system. This is a 287-mile journey for the fish to spawn. It's a 10-foot incline per mile. So even still today, this area is considered the price setter for the whole state, and it's actually the first fish to come in on a commercial basis. And so he lived there. My dad and his 3 brothers were also built boats and became fishermen, and they were the Wicket Boys, and that was a picture of them with a boatload of fish after they had unloaded. It was pretty fun. And then my father became a cannery superintendent, middle life, and that was when I was 12, and so we had to go back and forth to Washington every year because that was the head office was. And
How did you come up with the name?
Okay, because the Chinook salmon is the largest of the fish.
Okay.
Okay, and it to me was like, we're in company with these 4 million year old species.
Yeah.
So it's Chinook and company. So we came after them, you know?
Oh, that's a cute,
And so, yeah, because people always go, do you want the and in there? And I'm like, yes, it's not Chinook company, it's Chinook and company. Yeah, so that's my sort of environmental piece to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, I value the history of the resource, and I value the sustainability of the resource. And
No,
so
this is
that's,
awesome. Well, we're glad we stumbled along. We're just wandering today. We don't even know where we're going.
Great to meet you.
Well,
How
thank you.
fabulous.
No, so it's just been a challenge. I've been doing this since 2005, and I also used to teach at the university, but I had put my heart in something, focus on this because I had an opportunity to move in the heart of Creek Street.
Yeah.
It's down the block, 2 blocks, and in the whole scheme of things here, you don't reach everybody, but I do have about 3,000 online regular customers.
I've shopped. We have been up and down Creek Street, and then the other shops in the Ketchican downtown area. Made lots of purchases. And now we are headed back to the ship to go grab lunch. And then we will meet for our Alaskan Lumberjack Show at 12:30. I'll show you, there's quite a few ships in port right now. So there's the Norwegian ship that we saw come in right behind us. And then if you see over there, that's another princess ship over there. It's kind of a pain. They actually have to tender in. So you see the tenders and stuff going in and out? They are tendering in and out, so we got lucky. We just walk right on and off, which is much more convenient than having to tender like that ship's having to do. There's the Royal Princess. There she is. So we're gonna go back on her, grab some lunch, get rid of all our souvenirs. We have a whole bunch of, here's Mom talking to Caroline. We made sure when we were buying stuff that we were always buying it from people who were local to the area, tried to avoid the touristy shops, just so that we were supporting people who live in this area and the community so that they can continue to thrive and do well. So we are at the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. There. It's a little chaotic trying to get in. I think they need some cues or some help with Disney. Yeah. It's kind of chaos at the moment. I think people trying to get tickets, people that have tickets, the people with the plaid shirt. You don't want to be wearing a plaid shirt right now. People think you're in charge. We're at the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show, and they are getting ready. It's pretty chaotic. I think they have multiple shows, so they're trying to get one show out, another show in, and so it gets to be a little bit crazy. Getting everything ready.
I don't know, there's a Canada flag and an American flag.
One, two, go! Let's
Who do we have, Kat?
On the red team from North Carolina, it's Al! And from Missouri, it's Millia!
Additional ingredients in muktok. Reveal, hold those answers up in the air now. B, and C. So red and yellow have gone for whale blubber and skin, and blue has gone for wild berries and oats. The answer is B. Which food in the Klondike Gold Rush was so valued for its scurvy preventing ability that miners traded gold to get it? Panels up in the air now. B, and B. They've all gone for oranges. What do we think, audience? They're giving you the cheer, but the answer actually is D, potato. Fermented king salmon heads, stink heads, skunk heads, yuck heads, or stench heads. The answer is stink heads. Yes, here we go. Color white run. 10 seconds. You got this one. 1 minute. You've got 1 minute to hurry up. One hand. Come on, team. Quicker than we thought. We want to get those points. We do want those points.
After the Lumberjack Show, we got back on the ship, took a little bit of a rest, and then we went and met Jimmy and Susan for dinner, which was very nice. We had a nice time at the Crown Grill. The Crown Grill was okay, but dinner with Susan and Jimmy was very, very nice. And then we went and we played a Can You Survive Alaska game show, and Al actually got selected, and so he was on a team of 3 people and they got second place. So that's what we did on the Ketchican day.